guys.
Hello.
We are back. We may or may not have changed our name after realizing someone else already had the name Bridging the Divide.
Yeah, so now it's the Patriots
The
Mike.
Patriots Mike.
I think our handles have
Woo!
changed. She can clarify on
Yeah,
that.
I changed the handles, yeah. So I believe now we are the Patriots Mike podcast. So
It's just we didn't
hopefully
want to
that's
step
right.
on anybody's toes.
Yeah,
so.
exactly. So today, we are going to give a couple updates on the whole Charlie Kirk thing. We have a couple of personal experiences that we're going to talk about, and yeah, so we'll get right in.
Yeah.
So first, I have my little notebook with our outline of what we're going to talk about. So first, Erica Kirk was made the CEO and chairman of the board, I think, of TPUSA.
Woo!
Woo! Which I think is a fabulous idea. She is so amazing.
Charlie once said that she's actually more conservative than he is, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. But
Yeah.
you can never be too right.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. And we're just really excited to see what she's gonna do with that title. I mean, if she was gonna go for president, she's got my vote. So.
I don't have an opinion on that. But
Okay, next, we're gonna briefly read the charges against Tyler Robinson, who is actively being not investigated because they already investigated him.
he is currently incarcerated right now.
Yeah, for
is
the murder of Charlie Kirk.
in our in our society it's innocent until proven guilty, and that's how it should be. But in our perspective and based on the evidence we've seen,
He did it.
it's pretty clear that
Yeah.
he basically licked the gun with
Yeah.
how much DNA evidence.
Yeah,
is
and
on
we'll
the
get
rifle.
into that later.
Yeah.
So, his first charge is aggravated murder, and that can hold a minimum of 25 years. You can either get between 25 years and life, but you can also get the death penalty.
And Utah is the state is actively pursuing the death penalty.
Which Erica said that she doesn't mind either way. She would be fine with him getting the death penalty or not. She wants the state to decide.
But she also did say at Charlie's funeral that she forgave that she forgave Tyler. So,
Yeah.
in my opinion, I think the reason that she said that she doesn't mind either way is that she doesn't want to sway the jurors or the jury, and I'm willing to bet that she probably isn't after the death penalty anymore, considering that she forgave him.
Absolutely.
But since we don't know her personally, we would
Yeah.
love to, but since we
Yeah.
don't know her personally, that's just our opinion.
Yeah. Oh, and we forgot to mention, we do have a piece of wall art now.
Based on a comment from our first episode's video, someone suggested that we have some
Decoration.
some decorations. So these are our flowers from our wedding.
Yeah. They're made out of my bouquet. So. And then so next, we have felony discharge of a firearm causing serious bodily injury. Yeah, so that one is pretty self-explanatory. And then he got 2 counts of obstruction of justice. The first one is because he concealed or removed the firearm.
Yeah, when we go through the text, which we will read, you'll see that he had some pretty ridiculous plans to get rid of the rifle, which just wasn't feasible at all.
Yeah. And then the second obstruction of justice was because he destroyed, concealed, or removed his clothing that he was wearing during the murder. So, and then he also has 2 counts of tampering with a witness. The first one is him directing his roommate to delete texts, which you will see in the text, or here in the text that we're going to read. And then the second one is directing his roommate to withhold information from the police. So yeah, pretty self-explanatory. His last charge is a misdemeanor, and it is committing a violent offense, a violent offense committed in the presence of a child. So, and we can attest that there were lots of children there, and I feel very bad for them.
Hopefully that they're of the age that this won't stay in their minds as long as it stayed in the rest of our minds.
Boy, has it stayed in my mind. Okay, so next we're going to read the texts. Let's see if I can find them. I've got a lot of pages here. Okay, so I'll be Robinson, you can be the roommate.
Okay.
Okay, so it starts out that the roommate, Robinson texted, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." The following text exchange then took place.
Roommate. Oh, after reading the note, the roommate responded, "What?" with a bunch of question marks. "You're joking, right?"
Robinson. "I am still okay, my love, but I am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still. To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you."
The roommate. "You weren't the one who did it, right?" with a bunch of question marks.
Robinson. "I am. I'm sorry."
"I thought they caught the person."
"No, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering."
"Why?"
"Why did I do it?
"Yeah."
I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence. Going to attempt to retrieve it again. Hopefully they have moved on. I haven't seen anything about them finding it."
I'm going to pause right there.
He did, in fact, not get out unseen.
Yeah. Tyler Robinson is a colossal idiot. I mean, he basically licked the rifle with how much DNA evidence he had left on there, and he left on the towel that he used to conceal the rifle.
And we'll read about what he left a little bit later.
How long have you been planning this?
A bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it. I think they have already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. I don't even know if it had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about Prince. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits. Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find Prince. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man? Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The effing messages are mostly a big meme. If I see quote-unquote notices bulge ooh-woo on Fox News, I might have a stroke. Alright, I'm going to have to leave it. This really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine IDK. I think that was a 2K scope, meaning $2,000 scope.
Delete this exchange.
Oh, that's me. Sorry. Delete this exchange. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me right now, not answering. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty die-hard MAGA. I'm gonna turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. You are all I worry about, love. I'm much more worried about you. Don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
See, the guy was delusional from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can I wrote down all of the DNA that they found. So
This is the DNA evidence that they found on the rifle.
DNA consistent with Robinson's was found on the trigger, other parts of the rifle, the fired cartridge casing, two of the three unfired cartridges, and the towel.
I remember when the shot happened, and there was a lot of speculation in the media saying that this had to have been a professional.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the majority of me thinks that it was purely a lucky shot.
Mm-hmm.
He had a $2,000 scope on the pew pew, and he got lucky.
Well, and not even that, but he comes from the southern Utah. They don't,
yeah.
like, almost everyone in southern Utah goes hunting.
Yeah.
You know, and with a very conservative dad, and, you know, they live in Washington, I wouldn't be surprised if they were hunters. You know, and it wouldn't be a hard shot if you were a hunter. So here's all of the evidence that they found for everything, at least that I know of. So all of their evidence starts with all the DNA evidence, and then in a search of his home, they found shell casings etched like those found in the gun. They found several targets with bullet holes in his home. The text messages to the roommate. He confessed to his parents. He confessed on Discord. The rifle given to him by his grandfather matched the one used in the murder, and pictures released to the public looked like him.
So one of the things that we're seeing is Candace Owens, who is a big political commentator, has been saying that she doesn't think it's him due to lack of evidence.
Not due to lack of evidence. It's more so, I feel like she's making a lot of conspiracies. And you know what? I don't mind. Candace, you know.
Being wrong.
No, I don't mind her. I just feel like she's making a lot of claims that she can't back up necessarily right now.
She's stirring the pot, and
that's kind of what I see it as. And you know what? She has the right to do so. Her and Charlie were friends. I don't know. You know, there are lots of people saying that they hadn't been friends in a couple years. I don't know if that's true or not. You know, I don't know either of them. But I don't know. She just seems to be digging very deep when there's...
She's just trying to ignore the basic evidence to try and make this a bigger conspiracy.
Exactly.
And it's not something that I think, you know, people that support Charlie should stand by. It's okay if you want to, but there's no evidence to back up really anything that she's saying.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to a conspiracy theory.
Yeah. So, next we're going to talk about Jimmy Kimmel getting fired, which I'm sorry to all 12 of his people who watch his show. Bottom line, he's not funny.
He wasn't
never
funny.
Was.
He wasn't that interesting. He never said anything that was really that true.
And yes, we're like part of the generation that kind of doesn't watch
He's legacy media. But
yeah,
looking back, it's like, who really enjoyed late night TV?
Exactly.
What was the point?
Yeah. And so, not sorry about that. Oh, this is our next point. So the next hearing for Tyler Robinson is it's next Monday, so September 29th at 10 a.m. And it is going to be not over Zoom, but over WebEx. So I'm sure that they'll televise it over, like, news outlets. Next, the dad, Tyler Robinson's dad, I don't know what his name is, but I can't imagine what him and his wife are going through. I can't even imagine. And so they actually decided to donate all of the money. It was like $1.15 million or something like that. They decided to donate it to Erica Kirk. The money that they were going to get because they found the murder. And so that is a real act of selflessness.
And generosity.
Exactly.
They deserve to be commended for that, but I feel like even if we do learn their names, I feel that they would probably prefer to stay out of the media.
Absolutely.
So
and I completely support that.
Yeah, let's try to respect that. Same thing with Tyler Robinson's roommate. Unfortunately, their information was kind of leaked along with their first name and last name. They've been fully cooperating with the police. It's never right to dox someone, especially even if they do something wrong. So, if you feel the urge to do something like that and attack this person, please don't.
Exactly.
They're trying to do the right thing.
They obviously had no idea that this was going to happen.
Yeah, and I imagine that if they did know, they probably never meant for someone to die.
Exactly. And so, yeah. So next, over under 100,000 people.
It's really hard getting the accurate numbers for that. We're seeing a lot of news. We've seen numbers as high as 300,000, which we kind of doubt, but...
And then numbers as low as
60,000. So we're just going to say about $100,000, or not dollars, sorry. 100,000 people went to the Charlie Kirk funeral. So...
and I didn't watch the whole thing because it was like 5 hours long. But Erica's speech was beautiful.
It really was. There's a lot of moments where you really have to try hard not to cry.
Oh, absolutely. And Tucker Carlson's speech was beautiful. And I had to skip a lot of it because of time, and I haven't been able to see the president's speech yet, but and then J.D. Vance's speech was also beautiful. So it's sad that they had to stand behind bulletproof glass just to have a funeral. That is incredibly sad.
It's really disgusting that we're living in a society where if you want to speak freely or if you want to speak at your husband's funeral, that you have to stand behind bulletproof glass. I mean, there were news reports that they were having Super Bowl level security at this event.
Because of threats.
Yeah, and there was someone who was arrested trying to get in who had weaponry on him. That's never okay.
That's not okay.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's never okay to do that. Have a civil discussion.
Exactly. That's what Charlie would have wanted,
That's what he died that's what he died doing, was having a civil discussion.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to realize that this is 100,000 people approximately who maybe they lived in the area, but lots and lots of them traveled just for Charlie. I mean, we wanted to go, but neither of us have a reliable enough car. And that's a big deal. I saw a post on Instagram that said that the amount of people that showed up to his funeral was either like or above how many people went to Martin Luther King's and JFK's. So
I still fully believe that Charlie Kirk is our generation's JFK. I mean he.
You mean MLK?
Yeah. MLK. Yeah. Martin Luther King Jr. I fully believe that. He fought for freedom of speech. He, despite what a lot of the media is telling you, Charlie was not a racist. I encourage you to sit through, let's say, 50 hours of his content and come out and tell us that he was a racist or that he was a misogynist or a white supremacist. You can't.
You can't.
You can't honestly say that.
No.
He was a good man.
Absolutely.
I feel that he was closer to God than many people on this earth have lived.
And you know what? One of my points on here is people turned to God in droves.
Yeah, even at our own church.
Exactly.
We saw there was like double the amount of attendance that we usually have, and we go to a very, very small ward or congregation, and there was double the amount of people there.
It was really cool, and I think it's very interesting to see all of these posts of people saying, I haven't gone to church in 30 years, and I'm going today for Charlie.
I was scrolling through YouTube comment sections, and we'd have people being like, I've been atheist for the past 40 years, and this has made me open up the Bible again.
That is amazing.
Or they've been, what's the word? Where you believe, but you also don't believe.
Agnostic?
Yeah, I've been agnostic for this long, and I went to my church again.
Yeah.
And it's even if they don't fully believe in Christ at this moment, the fact that because of Charlie's death, that they decided to go back and give it another shot, I feel like Charlie couldn't have asked for anything more.
Exactly.
I mean, he said that when he was dead, what he wanted to be known for in this life was his courage for his faith. If you look at the grand scheme of things, yes, it was politics, but it all came from the gospel. It all came from the truth, from the Bible, and God's words that he found in the Bible.
Exactly.
Everything he preached was the gospel, and everything he taught was the gospel.
Yeah, so that was really cool. And I think it's also very interesting to see. I wrote, no rioting, only love and vigils. I think it's very interesting to see, as opposed to what happened in 2020 with the George Floyd riots, you know? That was someone that people didn't know, and he unfortunately passed away. But their reaction was very, very opposed to what ours has been.
It's funny looking at what Charlie said when he was alive and looking at the comparisons now that he's gone. He said once that you can tell a lot by a person by how they react to another person's death. Mm-hmm. When George Floyd died, there were riots, there were these looting, completely unreasonable, completely ridiculous responses to this kind of thing. And yet the ones who are on the Republicans, the ones who are on the right side of the aisle, we're the ones that are being told that we're violent because we own the guns. Whereas when Charlie died, no one rioted. There was no violence. There was no panic. There was no looting. There was nothing of that. It was all vigils and coming together. Exactly. It's interesting to see that the party of peace and love say that we're the ones that attack and destroy, even though they attacked and destroyed even when ICE came in. Mm-hmm. Or when George Floyd died. There was the whole BLM movement. It just seemed like it was capitalized on violence and destruction. Absolutely.
And another thing that I wrote down is that we actually last night, so today is Monday, so Sunday night, we went on this, they called it South Utah County ride for Charlie Kirk. And so basically, I mean, we were the most clean cut people there.
As clean cut as we can be.
Yeah.
There were some people with like sleeves of tattoos.
Which is fine, you know. Yeah, they're great people.
Yeah, they're great people.
But yeah, it was kind of funny. And we all rode, and we decorated our car all Charlie Kirk.
And we had flags all over it.
And it's not like I have a cool car. It's just
It's a Subaru.
It's a Subaru.
A very old Subaru.
It's an old Subaru Outback. And so, but yeah, we decorated my car with flags and just Charlie Kirk stuff all over it. And then we went to where they were meeting up, and we realized that everybody else has a truck and motorcycles. But that's okay. There were other people with cars too.
Yeah, they didn't mind having us in the line.
Exactly.
In fact, as we rode through, there were people who just off the street came and joined us.
Exactly. They would hurry and go home and grab their flags.
Yeah, and then like meet us halfway.
And then meet us halfway.
There was even a kid who, as we were stopping at a stoplight, he rolled down his windows and he goes, "Hey, where are we going?" And I was like, "We're going to UVU." And I offered him a flag and he said, "No, it's okay. I'm just going to follow you guys."
Yeah.
And this kid, who's maybe like 16, had a massive truck.
Yeah.
A way nicer
Yeah.
car than our car. But he just wanted to join. He knew that what we were doing was in honor of a very, very good man.
Exactly.
And he wanted to join and be a part of it.
Exactly. Yeah, so that was a really, really cool experience. And so, yeah, we rode all the way from Santa Quin, which if you're familiar with Utah County, Santa Quin is just south of Payson.
It's a little boonies town.
Yeah, a little boonies town. And then we rode all the way to UVU where the actual shooting happened. And so it probably took us a good hour and a half because we didn't take the freeway because lots of people were on ATVs, lots of people, people from all over the place, whatever they could come in, they came. And I think there were probably around 100 of us.
100, maybe more.
Maybe more, yeah.
There were whole families that were there, and what was really cool is that as we were driving by, people were coming out of their houses and waving at us and cheering us on, and there were a few people who even ran into their houses and brought out their own American flags to fly them around. And
yeah, it was really cool. It was really, really fun.
Yeah, and it was such a cool experience. And then when we finally got to UVU, being able to see that the Charlie Kirk Memorial had basically tripled in size from how we saw it last Sunday.
Yeah.
How we saw it last week Sunday. It's so big, and they have security around there all the time, which is really cool. But also that there are people who come almost every hour and bring more flowers or refresh the flowers or move around the memorial so that everything looks fresh and better. And
I just think that's the coolest thing ever.
It's
we actually saw someone with this same hat.
Yeah, this is a hat. Sorry, my hair looks pretty gross, but this is a hat that's got pipe wrenches and stuff. Leland is a plumber by trade.
Yeah,
and so
I'm not a plumber. My parents own a plumbing company, and it's from our supply store. So it was kind of funny to see someone else put their Great Western.
Great Western is the supply store.
Yeah, hat down. So that was pretty cool.
And we also saw, I saw a few flags from other countries. Like there was one that said "Love from Scotland," and they had like a whole they had the Scottish flag, and on the cross, the white cross, they had written, "We love you, Charlie. Love from Scotland." And there was a flag from Peru. There was even someone who wrote in chalk on the concrete by the UVU sign that they love him in Brazil and that he will not be forgotten.
Yeah, that's so cool.
And it's so amazing seeing all these people from all these different countries saying, "We love Charlie in South Korea."
Absolutely.
Or, "We love Charlie in the UK." And really, he had such a global outreach.
Absolutely.
And I think Erica said once that it kind of scared him how big the movement got.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure it scared him.
But now that he has this eternal perspective, now that he's with our Heavenly Father, I really hope he has pride and understanding.
He absolutely has pride in what he did.
And has a full understanding. And I hope he has a vision, or the vision that of how big this movement is. I mean, I think I read that there are over 70,000 applications for charters all across the U.S. Charters being...
is it charters or It's chapters.
Yeah, chapters across the U.S. And these are places that are colleges, high schools even.
Yeah.
All these people who are standing with Turning Point USA.
If you're not familiar with Turning Point USA, a chapter is basically a club at either a high school or a college. And it's just it's literally just made out of students, and they just bring others towards Turning Point, and they they just spread their message, and so it's really, really cool. Next, we are going to talk about something not so cool. UVU did a vigil.
It was a vigil for unity. And holy cow, was it a letdown.
Oh my gosh, you guys, So at UVU, they have the UCCU Center, the Utah Community Credit Union Center,
Which is
right?
this giant basketball court of a building.
Exactly, and it's like a arena, and they rented, not rented, but they had the whole thing for the vigil, and so we were like, okay, well then a lot of people are gonna get there, so we got there 4 hours early.
That wasn't my choice. That was
That
hers.
was me. But we get there, and people start lining up, and there's quite a few people, but not nearly as many as we expected. But and this is an event where they were like expecting the worst. Like they had hard security. The
There
whole
were-
campus was shut down.
They had a sniper on a roof with a spotter. They
Yeah.
had an entire SWAT team with service rifles and suppressors on their rifles.
I mean, they had cops from different cities coming in to patrol.
There was one from wasn't it one from West Valley City too?
It wasn't West Valley City. It was
Either way, it's a city
was-
that's like
it was
45 minutes away.
Cottonwood Heights.
Yeah, which is like 45 minutes away from UVU. So he
Yeah.
drove all the way here on an assignment.
Yeah. And so we were like super, super pumped for this thing. We are like, this is going to be great. You guys, they probably said his name twice.
Yeah, it was entirely about UVU. And I can already see the comments saying, "Oh, but it was at UVU."
It's like, it just so happened to be at UVU.
Yeah, the location doesn't matter. The person who died is what matters.
Exactly.
It's saying that this is a vigil for unity in honor of Charlie Kirk is such a slap in the face. I mean,
Yeah.
there were people who halfway through realized that, oh my gosh, this isn't about him at all. This is about how UVU will be even stronger together and all this kind of stuff, even though the majority of the audience there were there for Charlie Kirk.
Exactly.
They were there in support of him. They weren't students. They were, I mean, we're not students of UVU.
Yeah.
But it was so...
It was just a big letdown.
And knowing that we had waited there for 4 hours for like a 1.5 hour
It was an
vigil.
hour.
Oh, it felt like an eternity. For like
Yeah.
an hour vigil where you could tell that the people who were asked to talk didn't really care or were too
Exactly.
scared to have an opinion.
Exactly.
And we left with a pretty bad taste in our
Yeah.
mouth.
We met some really cool people.
And we met
In line?
a few quirky people.
But it was just a big letdown. And so yeah, that was, I think we probably would have left if we hadn't been in the front row.
Yeah, we were excited. We were hoping to see we were hoping to hear from inspired people, but
Exactly.
all of the statements they said were pre-written. None of it was really heartfelt. At least we
Yeah.
didn't feel like it was.
Yeah, it was very much like rehearsed.
Yeah. And it just kind of felt like a slap in the face to everything that Charlie had said.
Exactly.
Now is the turning point. Now is the time that you pick a side. We already know what side is going to win. We already know what side is the right side. That's not because the right and the right share a name. It's just one side teaches God's truth and one side believes it. Mm-hmm. Going with the side that wants to forget that there is a God or wants to act like there isn't a God, that doesn't make any sense. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
And I know we said in the first episode that we're going to try our best to be as middle as possible, but there are going to be a few episodes where, you can clearly see that we are blatantly right. There was a poster that we saw yesterday that was in regards to...
It was at the memorial.
Yeah, that was at the memorial, and it
At
was regards
UVU.
to the UVU Unity Vigil. And it said, UVU, if you want unity, then say his name. And they had say his name in big letters, and it had a Bible verse from Ephesians that was basically, you can tell the good and evil in someone based on what they say.
Exactly.
And just seeing how rehearsed and how little the people at UVU really cared about what happened there. All they cared about was the location. The location is irrelevant.
Exactly.
It's like looking at World War II, when they stormed Normandy Beach, you don't really care about Normandy Beach. You care about what, like, you know, that they stormed it. You care that they liberated the strongholds. Yeah, it's a cool anecdote to the history. It's a footnote. UVU will be nothing but a footnote in Charlie Kirk's story. He died at a college campus. The location is irrelevant.
Exactly. Exactly. So, okay, next we are going to talk a little bit about the left's reaction to Charlie passing away. So, I have written down a couple of words that I thought kind of fit. So, first was defamation. He was a racist, he spread hate, he was a fascist, he was homophobic and transphobic, he was hateful, he just trying to spread misinformation about him.
The funny thing is that if you look at every one of their posts saying this, they are taking him out of context.
Exactly.
If you actually watch his videos, which there was a post that we saw on Instagram, that's where I got the 50 hours thing. A person who was an African American said, I just watched over 50 hours of Charlie Kirk content. There is not a single thing he said in there that would make me suggest that he's a racist.
Exactly.
This is all the media. This is all his enemies, all the naysayers saying that he was racist by taking little clips of him out of context. It's all that they do. It's how lies work, is they're lying by omission. They're removing things to make it seem like their point is right.
Well, and I feel like when somebody dies, why are you talking about what kind of person they were? I get that obviously you're not going to discard what they're, what kind of person they were,
I think what you meant to say is, why are you trying to slander them?
Exactly. Especially, not even when somebody dies, but when somebody dies in such a public and horrifyingly...
such a brutal way.
Gross way.
It's seeing that these people were celebrating the brutal death of a husband and a father is still so staggering that someone could be like that.
Yeah. Next is justification. The quote-unquote, he shouldn't have been murdered, but,
There's no justification for murder.
Exactly. Or I hate this one. I don't think that this one is justification as much, but it's kind of, I don't know. But I've seen so many people say, I didn't agree with him, but he shouldn't have gotten murdered. Why do you have to make sure that everyone knows that you don't agree with him? Why does it matter?
It feels like such a pick-me thing to say. You're trying to virtue signal.
Exactly.
At the same time. If you want to say that he shouldn't have been murdered, then you should say that. You shouldn't say, I didn't agree with him.
Exactly.
That's irrelevant.
Exactly. Next we have deflection. I've seen lots of people say this is because of Trump. I know Destiny said that, and that was annoying.
Extremely little of Destiny.
Yeah. Lots of people said they should have had security, which yes, they should have.
We agree.
But you know what? If Charlie felt like he didn't need security, because that's who it was up to. The school isn't required to have security for a public event.
But the school, even then, they had a few of their campus police stationed at the event.
Yeah, they had 6 of them.
Yeah, they had a few of their campus police there. Charlie had his own little personal security team. But, in Utah...
you don't expect this kind of thing.
Yeah, and we believe that the reason he didn't have security is that he didn't want anybody to feel uncomfortable to go there.
Exactly.
To go and talk to him.
Well, and security costs money, and he wanted it to be a free event.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and then the next one is, what about Tyler Robinson's parents? They had nothing to do with this.
Yeah, all of his friends, all of his high school friends are saying that as soon as he went to college, he became this completely brainwashed individual.
Yeah.
He went so far off the deep end. Just because his parents were conservative doesn't mean that, that this is why they got shot. It's like, I don't know if this is true or not, but I was told once that Hitler was once saved from drowning by a Jewish preacher. If that's true or not, even if that did happen, that doesn't negate the fact that he still killed a bunch of that he still ordered the genocide of 6 million Jews.
Mm-hmm.
That's also what I deem as irrelevant. Just because you are raised one way doesn't make you that person. You can be whoever you want to be once you leave the nest, or once you realize that you can be completely autonomous.
Exactly. The next one was Tyler Robinson wasn't a leftist. Yes, he was.
It's very, very clear
very
to see.
clear. I mean, his roommate / boyfriend is trans. Yeah.
Someone said that he voted for Biden. He was clearly extremely left-leaning.
I have heard that he never voted.
Oh, then maybe
that
not.
It was just in like the last 6 months that he's gotten very political.
Oh.
But I could be wrong.
It's
with so much circulating about him online.
It's hard to know what's true.
Hard to know what's true.
But he was very clearly a leftist.
Yeah. And then my last point was Tyler Robinson wasn't trans because of all of the other trans.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Things.
I don't think anybody really said he was. It was speculated, but I don't recall ever seeing anybody saying that he was.
I put that down because it's like, well, you guys are saying that there are so many trans shooters and Tyler Robinson wasn't trans, And
he had a trans boyfriend.
Exactly. That's what my point was going to be. Next is remorseless. And I put a lot of people that I felt gave very faux apologies, including Gavin Newsom.
He was popularized, by being the worst governor ever, and also in the hit song by Tom MacDonald, "The Devil is a Democrat." I really recommend listening to that song. It's a total banger. But in his apology, or not really, faux apology to Charlie Kirk after Charlie Kirk's death,
it just seemed really scripted.
It was so scripted. You could tell that it was an automated message that he just put Charlie Kirk's name in there.
Exactly. I don't remember. I wrote down a lot of them, and I don't remember a lot of them.
I feel like if we don't remember exactly what we should say...
Yeah, I'm just going to skip it. Okay, the Obamas, same thing, very scripted.
To me, it felt a little better
than Gavin's. But still pretty scripted.
Yeah.
Stephen King brought up that Charlie had once said that his point was that people like to cherry pick the Bible. And so he said, well, he was responding to someone who had said something about that LGBTQ was okay in the Bible or something. And he had said that that all men who lay with other men should be stoned or something like that, and he was quoting the Bible. His whole point was just saying don't cherry pick the Bible. Don't pick what works for you. And so Stephen King actually issued an apology. Jamie Lee Curtis, she got his name wrong.
We lost a lot of respect for Jamie Lee Curtis when she came out and said that you
can't tell the difference between her trans daughter. It's a boy who thinks he's a girl.
Yeah, her son that went through transgender surgery and her biological daughter, when it's like
whoa.
You kind of can.
You really
It's pretty
can.
easy to tell.
It's pretty obvious. But yeah, so she got his name wrong and then just said, I don't remember what she said his last name was. And she was like, oh, well, I just like to call him that.
Yeah.
We're like, that's not his name, though.
Yeah, you're on a public platform. Get it right. It's not hard. It would probably autocorrect to Kirk.
Yeah. I don't remember a lot of these. And then Jimmy Kimmel, obviously, he did that whole online or on air stupid thing about, yeah. And then Rosie O'Donnell, freaking hate her. She, I think all she said was like, "This needs to stop," blah blah blah, and
this is unacceptable. This needs to stop. And it's like, great, Rosie. Did you fire all 2 brain cells to make that?
Yeah. And so yeah, that one was kind of stupid. Kamala Harris was the same thing as the Obamas, pretty much, just not very personal. Yeah, thanks.
It's the thought that counts, I guess.
Same with Biden, but we all know Biden didn't write it. So
yeah, we have mixed feelings about Biden. I really hope he's doing okay. Guy.
I feel so bad for him. He is just barely holding on.
One of my bosses once said, and I love my boss. I love my past boss. He said that he really hopes that Biden is out on a beach somewhere, soaking up the sun, and just slowly losing his mind.
Yeah.
Because we all can kind of realize that he probably wasn't in charge that last 2 years of his presidency.
Yeah.
And we don't, by all means, we don't want him to die. We want the best for him. In fact, we still sometimes talk about his the cancer that he talked about that he had, and just the other day I looked up to see if there was any updates on his health, to see if he was doing okay. We just feel that he's definitely a better grandpa than he is a president.
Exactly.
And although he wasn't a good president,
he's still a person.
Yeah, we still care about him. We hope he's doing okay.
Yeah, exactly.
But
so
his response probably wasn't him that wrote it.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it.
But I just hope he's doing okay.
Yeah,
wherever he is.
Absolutely. So you guys, that is going to be the end of this episode of The Patriots Mic. If you guys liked it, please like and subscribe. It really helps us out.
This is a bit of a longer episode, but we hope you enjoyed. If you have any comments, criticism, or anything like that, please feel free to write in the comment section. Like and subscribe, please. We're trying to get this platform a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
If there's anything else you want us to talk about, put it in there.
Yeah.
We literally read every comment, whether it's hateful or not, which I think we got one. We got one, but I think it was more like pessimistic than actually targeted hate.
Not bad at all.
Let us know what you want to see on the wall.
Yes,
we'll refresh it. We'll put stuff on there. Please, nothing offensive.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, if it's a joke, if it's funny, we're funny people.
Yeah,
I'm a very loose cannon when it comes to comedy. So if you find it funny, we can put it on the wall.
Yeah.
Just as long as it's not too distracting.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Bye for now.
Bye.